In case you don't already know, one of my all-time favorite maps in Halo 5 is Plaza. And today, we're going to be dissecting map movement in Plaza, specifically in top mid, which I know sounds like a small sliver of the action, but top mid is probably one of the most important areas in the entire map to know how to control, and there's so much nuance that goes into understanding how to navigate it properly. So, we're going to get into the details, and we're going to start with some of the more fundamental stuff I think you need to know, and then towards the end of the video, we're going to incorporate some 20 HX. Things will get a little more high level and scenario specific. Let's jump right in. All right, so we're actually going to start on bottom mid with the bottom mid to top mid jump. Now, this is one of the most important jumps in the entire map, and a huge part of controlling top mid comes down to landing this jump consistently, efficiently in every single scenario. Being able to jump down and then come right back up is so important. You don't just have to know how to do this jump. You have to know how to do this jump like while you're under pressure. If you're like shooting at people in bottom mid, or like somebody's over in U-turn and you're trying to like toss an 8 at him, get back up there once again, or like a variety of different scenarios, like players are spawning in cafe, or you know players are on nest or something, you want to get a quick route over to nest, like an alternative route to nest, you can do one of these and then you're up there immediately, or you can go around that direction, like over where posters is. Or if you're trying, like somebody's shooting at you from over on like light hall or something, you're trying to make a quick escape, just like clambering up, getting up here onto top mid. Or if you're on top mid, once again, you pick up the camo. One of the biggest ways to stay alive with the camo, let's say you grab the power up, you thrust back, you have the camo, players are going to toss nades, and those nades are going to land right here, and you're going to die. So instead, what you should do, drop down to bottom mid and know that you can immediately do this. And now you're up here. Now you're in a way safer spot. You've got so many more options to get to wherever you need to go, and we'll talk about that in 1 second. But this jump from bottom mid to top mid is so crucial. I'm going to kill myself real quick just to get all my nades back. And how does it work, okay? Because it's actually not very hard to do. There are a couple of ways to hit this jump consistently 100% of the time where you can basically turn your brain off, and those are ways where you like peg the control stick backwards. For example, if I clamber this side view mirror here, if I slide jump in, clamber this, I can peg my left stick back, jump, hold crouch every time you're jumping, and it's always off this windshield, the lower part here. Every time you're jumping, holding crouch and holding clamber if you have hold to clamber, or tapping clamber if you tap clamber. I just jump, hold crouch, hold clamber to get up there, and you want to do it off the windshield, a lower point, which gives you like more accessibility. You don't bump your head on the roof here. But like I said, if you just slide jump, clamber this, peg your left stick backwards, jump, hold crouch, hold clamber, every single time you're going to hit this consistently. You don't even need to slide jump. You could be like under pressure, just clamber, peg your left stick back, and get up there instantly. That's one way that uses a clamber. That's a slower way. Typically, you want to just jump on here and get up there consistently. And the way that it works if you're coming at it from the side is not to peg your left stick out all the way to the left or to the right. Instead, peg your left stick upwards on a diagonal, like up, like 2 o'clock, basically. So if I'm here, put your left stick in like a 2 o'clock position, come up on a diagonal like that, and you can get there. On this side, alternatively, make it like a 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, something like that. And then your stick's kind of going, your left stick's going out on a diagonal, and it's not exactly pegging all the way over to the left or all the way over to the right, because if you do that, you're going to fly out too far, right? You're going to jump and fly too far, you're going to miss it. I don't even know how I still got it there. The clamber, that's the thing, is like, even with this jump, even if you're kind of pegging sometimes, it's still pretty forgiving, so you should just kind of mess around with it and see what works. And even if you do miss it, and this is what you don't typically want to do, but you can jump, you can still thrust in. So like, if you're about to miss that jump, you know that your clamber didn't reach, you can see that it's not reaching, just like last second, you can still, and I'm hitting it, and I'm trying not to hit it, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even really... Yeah, well, you can thrust in, basically, is what I'm saying, is you can jump, thrust in if you're going to miss it. If you go too far out, there's so much leeway here. There's a very advanced way to hit it as well from, like, the very edge. So you can actually do it from the top of the truck here, and I find it's easier if you clamber into it, because then you get on, like, right on the very edge, but you can do it right there, too. So in, like, a choke, like a... I don't know, like a really tough scenario, you have the camo, you want to get out of there really quickly, like right on a dime. This is the advanced, like the most advanced way, I would say, to do it. You don't need to do it too much, but you can get right out on the edge without revealing too much yourself, because otherwise, you're putting yourself right in the center of bottom mid just to do it. But this jump, so crucial. Practice this jump onto the windshield, jump out backwards, out the direction, and then like jump, hold crouch, hold clamber. You'll get up there. Try pegging your stick over to 2 o'clock or to 10 o'clock, depending on which direction you're facing, and just get consistent at this jump in every scenario, no matter what. So you mastered the jump from bottom mid to top mid, and now you're on this ledge. What's next? Now, this ledge, despite being in the center of the map, is actually a pretty safe location to hang out, and it can be kind of tricky to navigate the ledge, but once you're up here, it's a pretty great spot to be in because it gives you easy access to so many important areas of the map. You can get there so quickly. So we'll talk about those areas in a second. The first thing that you would typically do is go up to top mid. This is the nice basic route that most people will take, is they'll go straight up to top mid, which is fine. They'll jump, they'll clamber up. The only issue is, and I've talked about this for like 30 minutes already on clambering and not clambering, if you're going to clamber up on this ledge, you're sacrificing time that could be spent having your weapon ready. It's 0.8 seconds. In a situation like this, when you're behind this ledge, you're clambering up, usually there are players who respawn tram that are over on glass ready to shoot you, or a player over on light rifle ready to shoot you, or a player coming up through the cinema stairs ready to shoot you as well. So you just want to make sure that if you're going to do this jump, you approach it with a crouch jump. And you don't only approach it with a crouch jump, you approach it with a crouch jump and your reticle already placed, ready to go. So there are a couple things. To crouch jump up here, just one thing is to always be aware of the fact that there's stuff jutting out of the wall, these pipes. It's not just like an even, clean jump. It's not as simple as you pushing your body up against the wall and jumping holding crouch, because you see what happened. If I push my body against the wall, it's going to bump me backwards and I'm going to fall off. And this is, for a lot of people, I'm sure this is pretty basic stuff, but just be aware that that's going to happen. So what you want to do if you're going to crouch jump up is displace yourself a bit. So hang out near the edge here, stop. So like walk, set your stick to neutral. Once you kind of like displace yourself in a good spot, jump, hold forward, hold crouch, and now you're up there cleanly. You don't have to worry about bumping your head, especially on this side where the pipe sticks out even farther. This side will screw with you even more. You really want to make sure that you position yourself really quick, kind of just let your stick reset to neutral, jump, hold crouch, and you're up there nice and quick. You don't have to worry about bumping off or having to use a clamber. And the next part of this, especially on this side when there's so many things you need to look at, is to make sure your reticle is ready. Usually the first place that I look is glass, because players like to hang on glass. It's a pretty safe spot. What you could do is try to line your reticle up with this line on the wall in that general area. If you do that, you actually end up coming out looking at glass pretty consistently. Like if you're thinking about lining yourself up with this line right here as you come up, you end up looking in pretty much the right spot right away. And that's important to kind of have that, like, that, you know, mind awareness, that mental awareness down, that you know where your reticle needs to be the moment you jump up so that you're ready for a gunfight before your opponent. That is so huge. Now, that's one way. Getting up to top mid, you can crouch jump both sides. Another option that you have is you don't have to immediately jump up over to like face top mid like this. You can also jump, hold crouch, and get over this way. A lot of players will do this. They'll just go immediately to nest. They'll jump, hold crouch, and now they're over a nest, and it's a nice clean get out, a nice clean way to get across. And even if you are in this spot, it's not too bad to sprint for a quick second just to give yourself like an extra speed boost, just so you can make sure you make that jump nice and clean. Same with the other side. Once you're here on this side, let's say you know players are in cafe, you're going to go up to top mid. You need to have your reticle ready. So the first thing that you're doing when you're doing this jump is putting your reticle in this window. This is usually the biggest spot where like a player is going to be hanging out that you have to deal with. Other players, like if he's in big door, he can't easily see you. This window, he can't easily see you. This is important too, but this is kind of a risky time to go for the jump if you know players are going to be on the bottom of dip, because you have to immediately turn your attention. But anyway, you go up to top mid and you know that they're in cafe, you can sprint, slide jump, and get yourself over to this spot nice and quick. And then from there, you have a couple more options. So you can slide jump, toss a nade over, you're in this spot. You can jump. You don't even need to hold crouch. You can just push your body up against the wall and jump, a standard jump, and you'll be up here. Or if you go to the edge of it, you can do a standard jump. And for this, normally you would spring jump to get up here because you can't reach it normally. You can actually crouch jump up to every single one of these light posts. You just want to make sure you crouch jump on this edge of it, like you're grabbing onto this side of it. As long as you do that, you can crouch jump up on all of them. So if that's the case, if you want to make like one seamless transition, you're pushing up on people on dip, you're going here, you can crouch jump, and you're already up there, and you got a huge height advantage on people. Now, it's pretty risky to jump up to this light post, but the light post jump stuff is like, there's so many areas in the map where you might need to jump up to a light post, so we can talk about that in the other areas as well. Just know that every single one of them pretty much are accessible with a regular crouch jump, as long as you just get it in the right spot, just like that. So you don't have to worry about spring jumping your way up there. If you want that quick vertical like height advantage, you know players are in cafe, and you want to come like down on the window from above or whatever, then it's a great way to just kind of crouch jump up there. So you've got You've got going up to top mid, you can go this direction, you can slide jump out to here, and then of course you've got S4. Now you can clamber onto this thing, but once again, crouch jump is going to be the faster way to do this. Jump, hold, crouch, and then jump, hold, crouch again, clamber up to S4, you're on S4. So many different things that you can do just from being in this spot. And you can actually, there's like little, these are like, you know, like advanced meta type things too, but you can jump and land on this light post. And this is particularly good if you know that a player is in, like, let's say U-turn, you can toss a nade and then jump over, and you got such a great angle on a player who's below, rather than trying to like position yourself like this and shoot him like that. Like, you can do that, but if he's hiding in the corner, you can't really see him. So if you jump over, you've got so much viewership over all of this. And then from there, if you want, you can still get your way up to S4 using this light post, or you can go back over here and you can jump back off of this. Like, there's so much you can do, and just being able to navigate it quickly and effectively, like efficiently, is so important. So you've got the jump from bottom mid to top mid. You can navigate this ledge a little more effectively. The next step, what about controlling the very top of top mid? Now, typically you aren't up here too often. If you are up here, it's because your team has map control and the enemy might be in tram. They might be going through light hall from yard or over in cafe. These are usually where enemies would be if you're up on this part of the map. Typically you don't want to be up here for very long as well, because you're like a glowing beacon in the center of the map. You can take shots really easily. Don't jump much if you're up here as well too, because it could force you to burn an early thrust, and then that could put you in a bad spot and it could be hard to get out of that situation. So I would say focus on your strafe and your shot when you're up here. If you're in trouble, you need an easily available exit strategy. Your main exit is this ledge right here. So dropping backwards, thrusting forwards back into this ledge, and go back onto this ledge, because like I said, when you're on this ledge, it is actually relatively safe. There are areas where you can hide and kind of isolate angles to certain areas of the map, and you can drop down to bottom mid, you can come back up, but this ledge gives you easy access to repressure top mid if you need to, like, or glass, to repressure and just like help your teammates immediately. So I would say your main exit strategy would be to drop back, thrust into this ledge. You don't even need to thrust in. If you kind of like come off slowly like that, you can still land on without burning your thrust. You can kind of come off with a crouch like that. Also remember that when you're up here, you could drop back, clamber up here as well. You could take advantage of that technique while you're up here and just be like a nuisance, which is still really risky because this area of the map, like I said, is the very top of the map. Everybody can see you. So if you're gonna be like a weirdo and try to do a bit of this and cheese people, you can do it. Just don't do it too much, don't do it too long, but it is an option. Remember that if you do land in U-turn, you don't have to use this jump to get out. There are a variety of other jumps. Of course, you can use like the standard one right here, just crouch jump and then crouch jump to this ledge and you're at top mid. Now, this is a great place to hang out if you want to bait the camo, the OS, and just kind of wait here for a bit and come up with a surprise attack. Remember to kind of like displace yourself a bit so you don't push your body up against the wall. Don't accidentally bump yourself off. You get a nice clean crouch jump. You can also escape U-turn here by crouch jumping up to this, then jump, hold, crouch, and you can clamber and you're already up on cinema. And remember how I said with these light posts, you can crouch jump up to them as long as you grab them from the sides, like one side or the other side there. So what you could do is jump, clamber, like crouch jump, clamber, and then jump backwards a little bit and clamber up to the light post. Now, typically you don't want to be up on this light post. You're like a glowing beacon. You're an easy target. If you have the camo though, or if you know players are spawning bottom lift and you want to get a nice angle up on this sign, then that might be, you know, something worthwhile to go for. And remember that if you're going to go up to this sign here, there's a specific point that you want to try to clamber on, and it's near the edge over here. You can't clamber this, so always jump towards this side of the sign here, and sometimes it takes a while to get up. It's a weird, kind of finicky ledge, but just understand where you need to clamber so you can hit it consistently every single time. When you're up here, if you want to make a clean jump to the light post, just remember there's like a roof here, so you kind of want to come at it like you want to walk forward a bit, and you can do it cleanly without a clamber, but altogether it's not really something you're going to go for a lot. And then the other one is, let's say you're taking pressure and it's inconvenient for you to jump up this way because you are still technically in like an angle on bottom mid, like players bottom mid pushing around U-turn can grab you or shoot you. This area here, and I'd never really go for this, and if I do go for it, it's going to be using the scoreboard method, but you can jump into this, right? So you can hold, crouch, hold, jump, and crouch. And then I bring up the scoreboard because it's 100% consistent, even though it is cheesy. When you have the scoreboard held, you're releasing crouch, but keeping jump held down, and then move out of here, let go of scoreboard while you have jump held down the entire time, and you'll fly up with a scoreboard spring jump. And I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of how this one works because I've I've talked about scoreboard spring jump enough times in the past. You guys can check out my old videos and see that. Building off of that sign jump, I got another like 20HX, I guess, style run that you could do here. Let's say players are in nest, you have the camo, or you know there aren't going to be players in tram to stop you here, but you could jump, hold, crouch, land right here, spring jump, and then clamber up to this red sign, and then from there you can clamber up to this sign. You can do that all really quick and seamlessly, and it looks badass, but like I said, this is like something that you would do in a specific scenario, maybe if you had the camo or something, so that people wouldn't easily see you. But yeah, you're spring jumping up, and then even this jump, you need to wait a second if you are going to jump up to this sign and position yourself accordingly so you don't like bump into it and miss the clamber, because the clamber spot on this sign is tiny. And one last little tip, I thought this was kind of a cool way to apply pressure from top mid, is you can spring jump up to this ledge right here where you're not fully on top mid, you're just on this ledge on the side. And of course you would do this when you predict that a spawn is going to be on cafe. Now if you're standing here, you can see the big door, you can see the windows, you've got the hotel, there's top yellow. But if you crouch, you cut off all of those angles except this window and top yellow, which is pretty interesting. So by crouching, you can be in a battle in big door, remove yourself from that battle with a crouch, or remove yourself from that window, or even hotel, just crouch to kind of get out of that, or even toss nades into it while they can't fully see you. So this is kind of an interesting spot to be on temporarily. If you drop back off here, you could hold crouch as you fall to like prep yourself for another spring jump, you can get back up. But it's kind of nutty, very scenario specific, but it would be cool to kind of take advantage of stuff like this. And you don't need to spring jump to get into it. You can jump off of this little beam here and you're there, nice and seamless. Or you can even, like, if you're running in from yard, you can jump off of these boxes and jump thrust and hold crouch, and you land there nice and quick and easy. And it's a pretty cool spot, not gonna lie. So there's a more in-depth look on controlling top mid in Plaza, and a lot of that came from that jump from bottom mid to top mid, so make sure you have that consistent and then be comfortable on that ledge around top mid so you can jump up and down between the ledge and top mid and always have your reticle placed and ready to go so you can get in and out of those battles effectively. So let me know what you guys think of these tips, of this, I guess, analysis of this segment of the map. Would you like me to look at other areas in Plaza, other maps altogether? Let me know if you think this is beneficial for you, especially so late down in the life of Halo 5. I know a lot of us have seen or used these jumps at this point, but hopefully there's still some new information, new strategies that you can apply to your gameplay. Anyway, guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell beside the subscribe button, keep in touch with everything the moment it comes out. I'll see you guys next week, or I'll see you guys soon with the next video.